everyone,
Hello!
and welcome to Kirsty and Bryony's Comfort Zone.
I'm Kirsty.
And I am Bryony, and we are here to explore the world of dreams and figure out what the heck is going on inside our heads.
What is going on?
Have you been having many dreams recently?
I think so, but I'm not very good at remembering them. I've gotten worse and worse at remembering them. I have written something down, though. I do have something.
Oh?
I do indeed.
I have a recorded dream, but I also, I have a dream that I had last night that I'll try and get it out before it leaves my brain. But I think it's already like half out there. But I was working in a hospital, but the only patients I was in charge of were doggos. And I do remember the dog I was looking after was this little cute bull terrier. Had a little, I just remember she was quite scared, and she was very bundled up in this little blankie. And at one point I remember them having to take another dog out of the same kennel with her, which was a teeny tiny Chihuahua puppy, but a really, the really fluffy Chihuahuas you get?
Yeah.
It was just a little ball.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm going to put you in your own kennel. So I made up this massive kennel that had 30 blankets in it. And I put her in, and she just started tunneling into it. And her little snoot just appeared at the front. And then this guy turned up who was a bit of a Cockney lad, and he was like, oh, I'd love to take her home. And I remember thinking I don't want you to have her. Something about you, I don't trust you. You've got a way about you. But then I was sent away to get something. There was this woman in the hospital who kept on I don't know what her job was, but she was she didn't seem to be a part of any particular ward. She was just organizing the posters in the hospital or something, and just floating around. And I got sent to help her. And then this other woman turned up, and she was like, oh, I need you to find my necklace. I was in a ward, and I think I left it was a necklace or earrings or a ring, or it was some sort of jewelry. She was like, I've left it behind. Okay. And I was like, well, what ward were you in? She was like, 39. It's like, okay. And I was like, what name should I say I'm looking for? And she just looked at me as if I was really I got the impression she was really famous, and I didn't know who she was. Right. And she looked at me and she was like, just tell them it was D35. And I was like, okay. And then I was looking around the hospital trying to find 39, but all of the numbers were really jumbled. It would just have a big sign that said this way to 71 to 73. And then underneath it would be but the other way for 22 and 85. And I was like, I can't find 39. And then I went through one door, and there was a railway that took you to other parts of the hospital. And I was like, that's going to take me so long. And I need to get back to my dog. I don't really care about these earrings or whatever. So I went to the other side of the hospital, and I walked past the lady who was missing her earrings. And I looked, she was holding up her phone and looking at her own Instagram. And it was all D35, here I am, hey guys, it's D35. And I was like, who is D35? Who is this? I've never heard of you. Right. And then, I never found the earrings. I never found where 39 was. And I think I just ended up just going back to the dogs and being like, can I work here instead? Can I just stay in this part of the hospital? It's much nicer than the human patients.
That's what I would do.
But yeah.
Cute.
It was a strange one.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that it is because I played GeoGuessr until late. And I think that all the road signs were road signs, or all the hospital signs were just me looking at signs in GeoGuessr and being like, I don't know what this means, because I don't know where these places are. Yeah. It means nothing to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand that. Oh my gosh. I love bull terriers.
Yeah.
what I was going to say, we attempted this episode just before now, and we had a technical issue and we had to restart. But I was going to say, because you said to me, a bull terrier's not like super intelligent. Do they not come across as super intelligent? And I was like, no. Bull terriers. Every bull terrier I've known has gotten in trouble because they eat everything. They cannot be stopped. They just want to eat everything. My mum knows someone who had a bull terrier and they ate, I don't know what they ate, but they had to go into the vet and be operated on because they ate something they weren't supposed to. We had one at work who was really infamous before I started working there. And I think he managed to eat an entire tube of Primula cheese. Like the tube, not the cheese, the tube, because he knew that when they were done with them, they'd put them in the bin, which was by the door. So when he went out for walks, he would like pull the lead, like to get into that room, jump into the bin, and eat anything that was in there.
Oh my gosh!
So he had to go down because he had a Primula cheese tube in his stomach. There was another one we had at one point at work that ate a pair of rubber gloves. They're just insatiable. They eat everything and they are not clever.
See, when we did record this before, there was a whole like minute section of me not being able to remember what the dogs were called and just calling them hand puppet dogs. And then Kirsty being like, do you mean bull terriers? So I got to sound so smart this time being like, the dog was a bull terrier.
I didn't bring that part up.
I know the name of things. But I always thought that it's one of those things that looking at them, it could go either way. Because, you get some dogs that are just like when you see the photos of them and they're like ears up, focused, looking very like ready and smart and prim and proper. But like you say, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not just good at posing for photos.
Yeah, there's nothing in there. Bull terriers, they got them big heads, but they're empty.
I think I only ever met one in all my time working at the vet. And I was sort of like, I'm sort of fascinated by them because they're a dog breed that I know, but you don't see them very often, I feel. Mm-hmm. They're not one of the...
you don't really. Which is probably a good thing because this is kind of like the opposite of a brachycephalic breed in that they have this big horrible skull which is not supposed to be that shape. So it's probably quite good that they've sort of fallen out of fashion.
Yeah. I think, am I misremembering? Was there one in, I'll have a cheeky Google. In, what's he called? The name Oliver.
Oliver, yeah.
Was there a dog in the film of Oliver?
Yes,
that was a bull terrier. That's where I know them from. It's not Fagin, the other one.
No, it's Bill.
The horrible guy.
Yeah. What's the dog's name?
Dog.
Bullseye.
Apparently he was played by a bull terrier called Butch.
Baby.
Butch Baby. That was his full name.
They are so cute. I shouldn't say it, but they are. They get goofy and I want to kiss them. When I was a kid, bull terriers were my favorite. My favorite doggies. But they do look like they've been stung by a bee.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I like them as doggos, but I feel bad because their eyes always look a bit sore.
They're not supposed to be that shape. They really are.
Yeah. And like not having, like I get the feeling they don't really have much facial protection, sort of like Fion being a Rex, not having eyelashes and whiskers and stuff. Their faces just look a bit naked, which is why I think they look like sock puppets. Because there's just not really anything there that you would expect on other doggos.
Yeah. I think the bull terrier is like one of those that you can see a lot of comparison images online from like 100 years ago. They did not look quite so bulbous. I'll show you.
Oh, yeah.
They aren't supposed to
What
be that shape.
happened?
Just
Why
selective
why are they
breeding to make them
balloons?
so round. I think it's just so that I don't know about the head, but they made them more stocky, like they're more sort of tanky in the chest as well.
They've sort of slowly gotten more italic over the years. Like they lean forward more.
Yeah, they do. I guess they're front heavy.
Yeah.
Babies.
Oh dear. Oh, bless them. Yeah, because
I wonder what
the
the
top
word
dog,
is.
the like 1915 dog, looks very healthy.
Yeah, like the old images of bull terriers, they do look like terriers. They look like almost like Jack Russells, but just big ones. But yeah, modern day bull terriers, they look more like kind of Doberman-y, you know, like the way they lean forward and the ears point up and just the way they stand. And Dobermans have big chests. They are tanky. So it's probably just like how they've been bred. They've been bred with like scary dogs to make them more scary.
Oh,
Scary in inverted commas because Dobermans are nice.
yeah. They're all just little guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess because of there being one in Oliver, maybe it was like a false data, because I felt like they were more, because I was like, well, there's one in a movie, so there must be loads of them everywhere. But they weren't really. You don't really see them around.
I think you don't really see a lot of them in rescue either, to be fair. Like when I was working in rescue, I probably only saw one. And then, like I said, there was one before I worked there. And that was it. But I think they get sick a lot because of their terrible genetics. And they eat everything and have to be operated on a lot. So they're expensive, I think. They're one of the more expensive dogs to keep.
It just reminds me of like getting into this time of year was always the vom season when you work in vets, because it's all of a sudden there's so many more Christmas treats available in the house, and most of it is either chocolate or fruitcake, things with raisins in, mincemeat, like that sort of stuff, like raisin items or chocolate items. So there would be like pretty much most days dogs that had to come in because they had got into the Christmas snack cupboard and had to be made to throw up. And the worst one we ever had was this family that had 5 dogs, and they knew one of them had eaten something, so all 5 of them had to be made to throw up. And the room, like the prep room where we used to do it, was just this vomitorium.
Oh no.
Of different sizes of dog all throwing up. I was like, and you know the worst part is that it smells strangely nice.
What, dog vomit?
Not dog vomit usually, but when you're like sat there, we had this I think it was if I remember rightly, it was a spaniel that had eaten like a whole box of chocolate brownies, and it smelled, when they were throwing it up, it was weirdly like chocolatey and nice. And I was like, this feels so wrong to be
I
like,
suppose if
"Ooh."
they've eaten a lot of brownies, yeah, that makes sense.
And you would always have like the first ones that came up were pretty much whole, and you could see the timeline of the ones that they had time to chew, and then the ones that they'd just been like, what have you got? Just like inhale the rest
Jesus Christ.
before I'm caught.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Doggos. But my friend's dog, he pushed a jar of mincemeat off the counter and then ate it.
Like
glass
raisin
and all.
Sweet mincemeat.
Yeah. Like
Right.
the filling of mince pies.
Yeah.
He just ate like
God.
the glass and
That's
the
not good.
raisins. And
What
the
the
vets were like, what? Why?
What?
Well, we would have dogs. We had a dog in that ate gravel. We had a dog in that ate a bag of nails. Like there's no logic to some of the things that dogs will eat.
Oh my God.
Because if it's chocolate, you're like, yeah, it smells nice. It makes sense. They don't know they can't have it.
But a
But
glass jar.
Yes. You're like, why?
Oh my gosh.
At no point did you think, this tastes of pain. Maybe I should stop.
Yeah. This might not be a good idea.
Oh
My God.
Bless him. He's not the smartest of dogs, though. I love him so much. He's quite old now.
Aww.
But he's like I think he's a German pointer.
Yeah.
And he's like been hit by cars. He still will try and run in the road. There's nothing going on up there. But he still just makes it through to this day. And then when you think about the other dogs that are like kept so prim and proper and still have all of these problems, and he's just out there causing chaos and surviving it all.
Oh, bless.
If he was a person, he'd probably be a wrestler.
Yeah. Doggies. They're so silly.
But yeah, that was my dream. I don't know. I get the feeling it was like a GeoGuessr thing. But I think the D35 person was probably because recently the list of all the very lovely people who are taking part in Jingle Jam was announced, like some big streamers. And there were particular streamers that everyone was like, oh, they're taking part, this person. And I was thinking, I don't know who this is. So it was probably that feeling of like, everyone seems to know you and I feel like I should, but who are you? Who is D35?
Oh no. I would be like that. I don't know what's good. I really don't. I live in my own little bubble.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't really have time to watch other people on stream. So I'm very unaware. Like, people will go to TwitchCon and be like, oh, this person's going to be there. And I'm like, who? And I'll look and it'll be like someone with millions of followers who's one of the most known people on the internet. It's like in the Celebrity Traitors recently, there was someone who was a YouTuber and like super popular. Probably that I think they get more viewers on their videos than Celebrity Traitors would have got from the country sort of thing, like big.
Yeah.
And I'd never heard of him. I was like, I'm sorry, I just don't watch content on the internet.
I just don't watch any content.
I occasionally get time to watch my friends. And I watch them because I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Oh dear.
But yeah.
Oh dear.
It's an odd one.
I've not been remembering any dreams, but I did wake up and write down a dream. I don't know what time I wrote it down.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way for me to find out on my note app. I don't think so. But I will read it as it's written.
Dramatic reenactment.
A dramatic reenactment. Okay, here we go. Dreamt I was at Q magic event. A magic event. Magic the Gathering. ... Tried a competition where I has to get power levels in ascending or descending order with randomly drawn cards. ... The guy said I'd die it. I don't know what that means. Oh, I try it?
Oh.
Oh, no. The guy said I'd won. He said I'd won. I remember now. And I'd won a £3,000 trip to Switzerland. Exclamation mark. Oh, no, sorry. let me start again. I'm trying to... I don't know what time I wrote this. Okay, but I remember now. So he said if I won... Here's me translating. He said if I won, I'd win a £3,000 trip to Switzerland. And then the next line says... if I'd got the last card right, which I didn't.
Oh.
And then he started clearing up the game. So basically, he had Magic the Gathering cards. And he laid out like 5. And they had to go in ascending or descending order for me to win, like just from a random deck. But I remember in the dream, he was laying them down. And then he started like putting other cards into the mix. So the reason that I was winning up until the very last card was because it was like, okay, here's a magic card with 1/1, here's a magic card with 3/3, and then it was, here's a Yu-Gi-Oh card with 950 or something. And then it kept going up and up and up, and I was like, oh my god, I'm doing it, and then the last one was like another magic card, and I was like, nah. And he was like, oh, you didn't win, and I was like, no, not rigged. I went to leave and called an Uber to a busy taxi rank, which was on a bridge. It said it would take an hour to arrive, so I started just hanging out when the map changed and it pulled up. So I said goodbye to everyone and I ran for the bridge. What showed up was a huge piece of construction equipment, like a futuristic tractor slash crane thing. I hopped in and he drove me home. So this thing showed up. It was like a piece of like building or farming equipment. It had the driver in the middle, like imagine a tractor, like a man in his little glass driving pod. And then on either side, it had another seat and another seat, like on his left and his right. And I jumped into one on his left and I was like, okay, let's go in this giant tractor. So that was that. Next, I was in some sort of D&D game with people, ... My parents was there, as well as a girl from school. My brother, but young. And Miriam Margulies.
Yay!
Yay! We were going to bed when the girl from school went to stay in the other room, where she has some sort of revelation about a monster that was haunting our dreams. The next morning, she came back and had this big scene where she connected with us to show us what was happening in our minds. Okay, I remember this now. And we had to roll a nature check to understand what she was trying to convey. So there was a monster haunting our dreams. This girl figured out why it was happening overnight.
Yeah.
She came back down in the morning and she like connected to us telepathically. And it was like, okay, now we need to roll a nature check to understand what she's saying in our minds. Me and Miriam failed. We both used hero points to re-roll, so in Pathfinder we all get a hero point at the start of the session and we can use it to re-roll if we want.
Nice.
So we both used up our hero points, me and Miriam, and the DM let us use someone else's hero point to re-roll as well. We all failed, so we just gave up. So, yep. So that was the plot hook, I guess, for the story. This girl from my school was like, I figured out why this is happening, and I'm going to tell you in your minds. And it's like, I have no idea what she's saying, man. I haven't got a clue. And the DM's like, okay, you can have a second chance. Look, you can use that person's hero point. And we're like, okay. And I rolled again. I got like a 5. I'm like, I don't know, man. I have no clue. So we just gave up and we just didn't do it. And that was the dream. Sorry for the poor translation. I wrote that I don't know what time.
Was this last night?
No, it was.
Okay.
I don't know how to see when I wrote it. It was probably a couple of days ago. I don't know how to like see a date on my notes app, but it was at least a couple of days ago. Probably around Sunday when I had Pathfinder. Like
partway through when you mentioned dreams, I was like, it's a Pathfinder dream. And then you said about rolling a die. I was like, it's a Pathfinder dream.
When is it not, honestly?
Have you had any more dreams in character dreams?
I did have one the session before last, but I don't know if I told you about that one. I think I might have.
I think the last thing you told me was about there being the different nightmares in different dream planes.
Okay. Yeah, that wasn't to do with like my Pathfinder. That was just extra
in general
lore. Yeah. The last time my character had a dream, she dreamt that we were back at this temple where we all had a fight a few sessions ago. And there was like a big bear there, but it was like a big spirit guardian bear, but like corrupted. It was like a guardian of the forest, but all corrupted.
Yeah.
And in real life,
like
we beat it.
Avatar.
Yeah. But it was like all fucked up and gnarly. But in the dream, it was there again, but it was bigger and it was scarier and it was worse. And we were fighting it and we were really struggling. And my character got like thrown to the side. And then suddenly out of a cave nearby, her brother appeared. And he comes charging out and he's wielding her sword, or a sword identical to hers. And he starts fighting this bear and he like completely fucks it up, gets it killed, and she's just laying there like hurt. And in the dream, like they beat it, and everyone in the party starts congratulating him. They're like, "Oh, thank God you were here!" And he introduces himself to them, and she's just like laying there like, "I'm useless." And like the way it was like, you know, you did nothing, like you shouldn't be here, like blah blah blah. Next thing, she's at the campsite at night, sitting by the campfire on her own. And she's kind of like just staring into space when she feels a tap on her shoulder, and she turns around and it's her brother. And she gets on really well with her brother. Like, she doesn't really get on with her family, but she gets on well with her brother. But in the dream, he has a very disappointed look on his face. And he says something to the effect of like, you shouldn't be here. You need to stop pretending. Stuff like that. Like, basically, you're not an adventurer. You're just a little noble pretending, and you should just go home and stop being a nuisance, stop being useless. And then he uses her sword to stab her in the eye. And she had like woke up with like a blinding pain in her eye. And that was the last dream she had. That was the last dream she had. Which was pretty cool.
I looked up bear. Would you like me to do your in-character interpretation?
Yeah.
So it says, I don't know how relevant this is to the character, but it says bear. The mother appears in dreams in many forms, the bear being one of them.
Okay, I can immediately tell you it's relevant.
The image may be of the possessive, devouring mother or the all-caring mother. If it is recognized in the dream that the bear is masculine, the image may then be of an overbearing person or possibly the father. There you go.
It's relevant. She has parent issues, I'll tell you that much. I like that. That's very good.
There's also...
What about fire?
Oh, I was looking up eye, but I can look up
eye is good too.
fire.
Eye is very relevant.
So any dream to do with the eye is to do with observation and discrimination. It is indicative of enlightenment and wisdom, protection and stability. It has a connection with the power of light and in ancient times of the sun gods. Through its connection with Egyptian symbolism, the eye is also a talisman. Loss of eyesight signifies the loss of clarity, and depending on which eye can either be the loss of logic or the loss of intuition.
Does it say which?
The right eye is logic, the left eye is intuition.
Okay. It's her right eye that she got stabbed in.
Oh, so you've lost logic.
Wow, rip.
No logic for you. And then fire.
The mention of the sun god is really cool, because after that, the cleric NPC that's traveling with us blessed her, basically, because he tried to heal her because of this pain that she had after the dream, and it didn't work. So he was like, this isn't a physical pain, this is like a mental or an external thing even. So he blessed her, and like his god is Sarenrae, which is the god of essentially the sun in Pathfinder. So yeah. And after that, she dreamt that she was walking in the sun.
Cute. Fire in a dream can suggest passion and desire in its more positive sense, and frustration, anger, resentment, and destructiveness in its more negative. It will depend on whether the fire is controlled or otherwise on the exact interpretation.
The fire wasn't a big part of the dream, but I said to look for it anyway, because the way I picture it, like I always sit there with my eyes closed when Ridian's reading a dream sequence, and I just try and imagine it. And for this particular bit, it must be nice. For this particular bit, like she was specifically like sitting by a campfire and looking out into the darkness. You're illuminated by the campfire, and I'm picturing like the little cinders like floating up and everything. So it wasn't actually an aspect of the dream. It was more just what I pictured. So,
okay.
But she was definitely frustrated, I'll tell you that much.
It also says to be more conscious of the flame of the fire would be to be aware of the energy and strength which is created. Being aware of the heat of the fire is to be aware of someone else's strong feelings. Psychologically, fire often appears in dreams as a symbol of cleansing and purification.
Oh, cool.
It also says, this isn't relevant, but to dream of being burnt alive may express our fears of a new relationship or phase of life. I think if you're going out with someone and you dream being burnt alive, I think maybe that's
I think you're
red
overreacting.
flag.
Yeah, maybe. It might be a red flag.
Your brain being like, just get out. No.
Oh my gosh. But no, I will let you know if I have more dreams. Rydian can't give me a bad dream every session, sadly, because it might be overkill. But I'm sure there's more to come, so I'll keep you updated. I've said it before, but I've purposely made a character that makes sure that he gives me as many dream sequences as possible.
Yeah,
so, because they're my favorite.
How do you like? How do the others react to stuff? Because obviously they hear it, but they don't character hear it. They don't know.
I purposely like ham it up. Like when she had that dream, like I was like, okay, she's going to wake up like screaming. She's going to wake up with a start and it's just going to be loud. Like people are going to know. So I don't know if the other party members really caught on to the fact that she was dreaming, like in character. But one of them did, like the cleric who came and saw if she was okay, like he knew, so he now knows. They know that she has bad dreams because there was a moment quite early in the campaign where we met a crazy old man called Remus, and he basically did the whole for anyone who's played Curse of Strahd, at the beginning of Curse of Strahd you get like a tarot card reading where Madame Ava basically reveals all of the plot points to you. She basically is like, oh, you pulled this card, and behind the scenes it means you're going to go to this place and find this item and blah blah. It's basically a plan for the DM, and it felt kind of similar in that whoever like approached this old man like, oh, are you okay? Are you lost? He turned to them like, oh, you, and then he would give them like a nickname. So all of us ended up, because as soon as we all cottoned on to the fact that he was giving these nicknames to people, it was like, I go up to him and I say, are you okay? So everyone ended up getting one. So I wonder if can I find them. Mine specifically was Nightmare Queen, which is a bit intense because, nightmares are involved, but also she's a part of the royal family of the area, like she's a noble. Yeah. So that one, a lot of people sort of glommed onto, and they were like, why did he call you that? And then as soon as everybody in the party started having nightmares, it was like, is this you? And I'm like, no. Huh? They if they want to react to it, they make sure they do. Like with like someone like Nilesy, after I have a dream sequence, we'll go to the morning and Nilesy's character will come out and go, hey, so did you sleep well? It's like, no, I didn't. Nilesy's character is Columbo, but a cat.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Oh dear.
I was thinking like the voice is either like a gangster or like the lady from Monsters Inc. It's like Wazowski.
No, he's like, one more thing. You didn't tell me about the kingmaker, the king you were supposed to be making.
Oh.
So yeah.
I too have brought forth a dream that I've recorded. And
Give me your dream, woman.
I'm going to say the line. I don't remember it.
She doesn't remember. She forgot.
I forgot. So let's...
Before you start, my brother just messaged me and he said, I've been listening to your podcasts. When do you start talking about dreams?
Oh, how dare.
What the hell? How dare you?
We're on our third dream of this one now.
We are. We're on the ball.
Yeah.
One of them's not real, but we're doing it.
It goes to show like how good.
Oh, actually, this is if you don't include the Pathfinder one. If you include the Pathfinder one, it's the fourth dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Actually, no. Yeah. Third real dream.
It
right.
goes to show how good a DM Rithian is, because if I had to give parties nicknames just off the, I mean, I guess he was prepared for it, but if it was me, I'd just be like, shit pancake. I don't know. Like, who are you?
He was definitely prepared for it.
What's
they were
my
basically
name? Jeff.
It's Jeff. Oh. No, he had names for everyone ready to foreshadow like the coming events. So
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
very cool.
Well,
Very
I
cool.
shall present to you
Give
my
me your dream.
in 3, 2, 1, go. I had a dream that I was interviewing for a job at either like a big hotel or a big fancy department store or something. There was lots of laundry involved in making beds, I think. And this woman who was interviewing me was like, you've got the job, but you have to pierce your nose. Like, you have to have a nose ring if you're going to work here. And she was just holding this, like, really scrappy bit of wire and was like, oh, I'm going to pierce your nose with this. And I was like, no. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I realized I can't accept the job permanently, so it wouldn't be right for me to pierce my nose in acceptance. And I was like, oh, maybe tomorrow. Oh, but wait, I'm seeing my nan tomorrow. And she was like, okay, but really suspicious. And then my dad turned up and I was like, oh no, if she talks to my dad, she's going to realize that I don't have a nan to go and see. So I was trying to like pull my dad aside and be like, Dad, can I talk to you for a second? But every time I went, this other woman who worked there, who was like, looked like my sister, but wasn't my sister, kept following and being like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I was like, can you just give us a moment, please? And I was getting like really angry and really kicking off about it. And I was just like, we just need a moment to talk. And then eventually I sort of gave up and I went home for the day. And then on the way back into work the next day, I was going through this underground tunnel, but there was a woman in there who was recording, and there were just like cables everywhere with all these microphones, and it was like the tunnel was a stone tunnel, but it was actually made out of like stone printed material, and I couldn't lift the flaps to get out of it, sort of thing. And I was trying to find my way out, and eventually I found my way on top of it, and I was reading my book, even though I knew I was late for work. I was reading my book, and there were 2 characters in it that were called Trott and Bronk Bonkers, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to tell Trott about this, because it's like me and him. And then the lady started talking to me and being like, oh, can I record you for this? And I was like, well, I was meant to start work at 2 and it's 2:04, so I really should get going. But then Trott turned up and I was like, oh my gosh, look at this book. It's us. And I was like, okay, now I really should get going. And I got to work, but I had gone to like the staff entrance, which was on like the basement floor, and it went into like a cave system where everything was just really damp rock. But I bumped into the two people who had interviewed me coming out as I went in, and I was like, oh no, they know I'm late, and now they're going to pierce my nose. But I was coming up with excuses. I was like, on the way into work, I'd been looking up, are there any religions that mean you cannot have your nose pierced? Because I was like, maybe I can say that. But yeah, it was a weird one. Yep. This is Bronk Bonkers signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bronk Bonkers.
I do remember this dream.
Yay.
I remember telling Trott about it the next day, and he was like, why was I just Trott? Why did you get the fancy name? I was just like, Bronk Bonkers.
Bronk Bonkers. Because you're the main character.
Yes. My sidekick, Trott.
So they never got you. They never got your nose pierced.
They never pierced my nose. I think
that's good.
What if I look up nose in the dictionary? Not the dream dictionary, not just what is a nose?
Nose. What does this mean?
It says the nose in dreams can stand for curiosity and also for intuition. I didn't want them to pierce my curiosity and take my intuition away. Yeah. I wanted to be able to snoof everything snorfully. I did look up piercing in the dictionary, but it doesn't.
Oh, is there anything in there?
No. It goes from peer to whatever's next. There's no piercing.
What about like jewelry? Is there anything?
Oh,
jewelry?
Jewelry. That I cannot do the alphabet. Oh, the J section is very short, but it does have jewelry. Jesus, jewelry. Jewelry usually indicates that we have or can have something valuable in our lives. Being given jewelry suggests that someone else values us. Giving jewelry signifies that we feel we have something to offer other people. Those qualities we have learned to value in ourselves through hard experience are those that we display most easily to other people. There you go.
What if you've got a jewelry in your nose?
Sadly, it doesn't go into such detail.
What the hell? Weird.
It has a lot in jewels. But that's just about the different types of jewels. I saw a thing I was really tempted to get you for Christmas. Oh, maybe I should. Oh, I've so given away what it is.
Oh. Well, you haven't. I don't know what it is.
Maybe. Oh, I don't know if you'd like it, though.
You say that for everything.
Yeah. I doubt every present I've ever bought for anyone. I'm going to do a cheeky Google. What to buy Kirsty for Christmas? No. Dreams of...
I wish it were that easy.
Piercings. Dreams of piercings often symbolize a desire for self-expression, personal transformation, and marking significant life changes. But I didn't want to be pierced, so I don't want to express myself. Leave me alone. I don't want to transform personally.
I don't want anything to be different, and I don't want to express myself.
It also says piercings. It says deepening on where they are, but I'm guessing that's meant to say depending, are about something you want to show off or highlight to others. You want to draw attention to something. So that could make sense, because I think thinking about it, this might have been around the time. Oh, no, actually, this would have been before that.
Oh.
Because this was... Would this have been around about when I got a cold? I think this was before I got my cold. Because when I got it, it was a really short actual cold, but because of my nasal polyps, I sounded like I had a cold for weeks afterwards. And it got to the point where I was like, maybe I should just have the surgery, like nose surgery. Do you remember when I was talking to you about this? Because I was saying about how I looked at would it have been before this or after?
When did you record this?
19th of October.
That's nearly a month ago. You would no, it was after this, surely.
Oh, okay. Maybe it can't be that then. The only other thing I could think that it might be to do with is, I mean, to be fair, I just don't want my nose pierced. Maybe it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say, if it is about like drawing attention to yourself, I remember thinking a lot of people asking me throughout October, are you excited to cut your hair? Are you nervous about cutting your hair? Because it's going to be a significant cut. And I remember replying to one person saying like, the thing that makes me nervous is that there's going to be a perceivable change and that people are going to talk to me about it. Because that I think just being perceived was the thing that I was scared of, because hair grows back. But knowing that whether it looked good or bad, people would be thinking about it, that made me nervous, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, no, I get it.
Because like, it's one of those things that if it had been cut and it looked awful, people would still feel the need to come up and be like, oh, it looks really nice. Because that's how people are. No one's going to come up and be like, oh, you shouldn't have done that.
It's terrible. You shouldn't have done that.
So I think it was just that. So maybe it was to do with that, like having
just not wanting to
like a physical change that people would notice.
Yeah. But, no, I understand that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it sort of reminded me of the job itself. Even though I said it was in a place that I was doing, I was like, it was a place with a lot of beds and laundry, and maybe a hotel. I don't know. Just one of those other places with loads of beds. But it sort of had the same vibes as working in John Lewis. But I didn't have to get my nose pierced for that. Right. Quite the opposite. I think it would have been frowned upon to have such things in John Lewis.
Probably, yes.
But
they wouldn't like that.
But yeah, so I wonder if it was that sort of.
Yeah, I think you've probably nailed it there. You were probably thinking about like having to change what you look like and how people will see and stuff like that. How have you been getting on with your new hair?
I like it. I've not tied my hair up in a week, and that like not having to constantly redo it because it's too thick to be held up in a band, and not having like a tension headache from having it all in a hairband all day has been very freeing. It's nice.
Good.
But there was one other thing I was going to say about the dream and I forgot. It just left my head.
Sorry.
It is very true to form of me that I think you and I are both the same in that, in some ways, if there's something that we don't want to, we're people pleasers, essentially. And if someone says like, oh, can you make it to this thing? Or can you do this thing? We won't be like, no. We'll be like, oh, geez, what's the most elaborate excuse that's foolproof that no one would dare question? And the fact that I was like, I'm seeing my nan. And I was like, turns to the camera, I don't have any grandparents. What if they find out? What if they start asking me questions about my nan and how she's doing? And I'm like, well, she's been dead for 10 years, so not very well. But like, just that thing of like, I can't just be like, I don't want my nose pierced. No. Thank you.
Yeah,
I have to be like, instead I'll start doing research into religions that you can't have your nose pierced in and assume the pretending to be that religion. Instead of saying a straight up no.
No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No, I understand. I've tried my best in recent years to not do that, but sometimes it do be like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to upset people, so it's like, okay, how do I let them down gently? What's the most elaborate lie I can come up with?
And the funny thing is, like, if people say to me, like, if I say, like, oh, are you free next Wednesday? And they're like, oh, no. I'm not like, why? What are you doing? That's so much better than, It's just people don't question things in that way. And if they do, they're an ass. Why would you question it? But one thing I have learned is because I know sometimes people just don't want to do stuff because they don't have the spoons or they just don't want to. And I know that people don't want to say that they don't want to. So I used to be quite naughty, not naughty, but I would, maybe unthoughtful. I don't know. But I would just message people and be like, what are you doing on Tuesday? And then leave it. And I think that puts people in a panic. Whereas now I've learned to be like, what are you doing on Tuesday? I would like to get lunch at 2:00. And then they can be like, sorry, can't do that day. Because then you've given them the full information. Because sometimes if people message just being like, what are you doing in 3 evenings time? And you're like, why? What is it? What if I say I'm free? And then it's something I don't want to do.
I'm locked in and I don't want to do it.
So I've learned to try and give all information up front. And then if they don't want to, I'd rather they just said, no. I'm like, okay. Why?
But why though? Explain everything. Tell me why you don't want to see me.
Give me character witnesses as to where you will be, why you will be busy at this time.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Dear, oh dear.
But yeah, I would go so far as to say perhaps an anxiety dream. But it felt like a fairly calm one.
Yeah, it was a mild anxiety dream, just a small one.
Yeah. And I got to be in a book, which was nice.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Recently was saying, because I do book club, and we were trying to decide which book should be November. And there were 2 suggestions, one of which was mine. And someone else suggested a book that is apparently really good, but it's quite a heavy subject matter. So I was like, I would really like to do something like a bit lighter. I put it to a poll, but I think a lot of people were feeling the same way. So we're doing like the lighter, goofy one this November and then the heavier one in the new year. And I was saying like, I just really, it's a stressful time of year. I just want to read something very light, very silly, it doesn't matter, just a bit goofy. And then I started reading a book before the book club book that's about the women of Troy. And within like 3 pages, it was one of the most harrowing things I'd ever read in a book. And I was just like, oh, why? Why did I not follow my own advice?
Why did I do this to myself?
I was like, I knew what it was about. It was never going to be happy. Because nothing about Troy is happy. So and especially for the women, it's awful. So I was like, why did I read this book now? And I'll tell you for why.
Yes.
It's Waterstone's fault.
Oh. But why?
Because I went into Waterstones to get a goofy, light-hearted book that I wanted to read, and they didn't have it.
Oh.
So ignore the tens of thousands of other books that they have that would have been suitable. It wasn't the exact one I wanted.
So I'm going to read something very depressing out of spite.
Also, to be fair, the time I went in before, they didn't have it either. And they did say, do you want to order it in? And if I had said yes then, it would have been ready by the time I went back the second time. So maybe Waterstones isn't to blame. But it's ready now. I did order it the second time.
Yay, good.
So I can go and pick that up today, and that can be my December goofy book to read instead.
And what book is it, sorry?
It is part of the book club book is Voyage of the Damned, which is like a Agatha Christie on a boat with Greek inspiration, I think. Okay. So that's our book club goofy book. And then the book I want to read outside of that is it's from the Saints of Steel series by T. Kingfisher. And it's like, it's sort of cozy fantasy, but I don't like cozy fantasy. I don't like no stakes fantasy because I'm like, what is the point? If there's no, like, a lot of people like things like legends and lattes and can't spell treason without T and all of this stuff. But because there's not really any threat whatsoever, I'm just like, eh. Whereas the Saints of Steel series, which starts with Paladin's Faith, and then the one I'll be reading, I think, is Paladin's Strength, is, it's cozy,
Yeah,
it's
some
funny,
stakes.
but some people do get murdered, and there's an autopsy in there sometimes. There's a little bit of something's happening, but it's mostly just it's about a paladin who knits. He knits socks, and it's so nice.
Yeah, that sounds nice. That sounds nice.
Tiny bit of spice.
You gotta have some stakes in your fantasy story.
More spice than I realized there was going to be when I took it home to read in my family home.
Oh dear.
but not super spicy. Just a little it's got a kick.
Just a little kick of spice as a treat.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good. That sounds very good.
I read the first one and I was like, I just want to read the rest of them now.
Yeah. Well, that's a sign of a good book.
Yeah.
For sure. We have covered so many dreams today.
We have.
I feel like we've been working overtime. I don't think we've ever talked about so many dreams. It's impressive.
Well, we've had to get ahead because, of course, next week, but last week in the episode timing, Sweden.
Yes, we are ahead by a week because I'm going to Sweden. But I'll be back by the time you hear this.
And you'll have to tell us next week about if you had any Sweden dreams.
I will let you know. I'll do my best to remember them if I do have any. I should. I reckon I will.
I'm just going to ask Rithian to every morning kick in the door and be like, did you have any dreams? And just start a voice recording.
That might work. Honestly,
from the
that
source.
Might work. You will have to ask him because he won't listen to this until I've gone. So.
Oh yeah, true. In the middle of the night, just be like, "What are you dreaming about?"
What are you dreaming about?
You're like, I just dreamt that there was this presence looming over me, asking me questions.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I reckon I'll probably have some dreams. Maybe I'll even have one on the plane. Who knows?
Oh.
It depends where I'm sitting because I'm not picking my seat. So if I'm by a window, I might have a dream. If I'm not, I will not sleep.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Nice.
But I might just say sod it and go to sleep anyway because I have to get up quite early for my train.
Must be, what is the flight, like an hour and a half or something?
Yeah, it's like an hour and 40, I think, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Not too bad.
Because I flew to Oslo and I'm trying to think how much further it would be. Because it's difficult. I feel like it's difficult to tell when it's in the air because it is literally as the crow flies. So
as the plane flies.
Distance is confusing.
Yeah, it is. It's not a bad flight at all. It's about an hour and 40. But yeah, I've not paid for any of the extras. Like Rithian was like, "Are you going to bring your laptop?" And I was like, "Sir, I have a backpack. I have one backpack and I have to fit my clothes in there." I'm like, "Probably not."
Yeah.
I've not booked. I've not paid for my seat. I've not paid for the early. What's the word? Onboarding on the flight. I've just like, give me my ticket and put me on the plane. Goodbye. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
you can sleep through anything.
I can actually. I'm very good at sleeping. It's one of my strengths.
And
one of my real
make
talents.
Another switched friend.
No, I hope not. I will have to take my Switch, actually. Yeah, that's a good idea. I can fit my Switch in my bag.
Yeah.
I'll have to charge it up. I've not played it in so long.
There's the new Animal Crossing update. That actually looked really good, and it sort of made me wish that I was still playing Animal Crossing, but...
Yeah, I can't go back to an old island. I could start, like, if they released a new game, I'd be like, okay, here we go, but I can't go back to the old one.
Same. It's strange, isn't it? Like the thought of starting like just the same game again. I'm like, But the thought of there being a new game, even though every Animal Crossing game is essentially the same, pretty much, with it's got the same bones. I'm just like, ooh, new game.
That's the thing. I think because Animal Crossing, unless you cheat, you have to progress day by day, in real time, and it's like I can't be bothered.
It's why it was such a difficult game to stream, because it's like there's only so much I can do in the day, and then it's sort of, unless you had like grand plans for like terraforming your island or something, there wasn't really much.
I used to just have my island open and people would jump in and we'd all go fishing together.
Oh,
that was nice. I've got so many screenshots because that was like just as lockdown hit.
Yeah.
So it was nice to hang out on our islands.
When Simon used to stream Animal Crossing, and I remember turning up at his island, and I think I just put like 9 gnomes down, just loads of gnomes. I just kept placing gnomes because I'd been saving them up because Arnor used to send me loads of gnomes. And I just took them all to his island and left them there. He was like, what the heck?
Animal Crossing was a time.
Yeah.
They need to just release a new one.
Yeah, because I did think, as they've just done this big update for it's New Horizons, isn't it? That was the Switch one. I was like, oh, does this mean no new game? But to be honest, it's a sad thing of like, I don't know if I would have time to play an Animal Crossing game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd probably play it for like a week and then be like,
Yeah. Because it used to be so nice it was like a summer holiday game. Yeah. And then you'd pick it up a little bit, like, because, it's snowing now, the crunchy snow. And then I used to watch the fireworks for New Year's. And then it would sort of drift after that. But I do love it.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Well. Thank you, Kirsty, for a very lovely chat.
Thank you, Bronco, for a lovely chat.
Let's hope that all the recording went okay this time and everyone heard all of this. It's not just one of us talking to nothing with a robot voice.
Hopefully not.
Well,
okay.
Thank you everyone for listening, and until next time, bye-bye for now.
Bye.